In this session, we discuss definition of robot and a robot, need for a robot, basic requirements of robot, and constructional details of robot and robot capabilities and its classification. Of course, this classification we are going to deal briefly, and this classification we deal in the next session in detail. Okay, so before knowing in detail of all these topics, let us know how robotic science has emerged in the field of automated industry. Since long time before, Indian industry and also world industry is facing a demand and supply gap for every product. To meet this requirement, our engineering scientists have ventured to go for industrial automation to increase productivity and also quality, because customers' view towards quality is changing from time to time, and it is going very fastly. So in order to meet this requirement, industry is heading for automation. As a part of that, industrial automation has been taken place. Okay, in this one, manufacturing operations as a part of that have been automated. For example, automation of machining, automation of welding, and so on. Likewise, as a part of automation, robotic science has also been developed. So now let us know in detail of the topics. First of all, let us know the definition of robotics. Before knowing detail of robotic definition, okay, we have here three definitions. First of all, let us know the basic definition. The study of the design and use of robots, particularly for their use in manufacturing and related processes. So, study of use of robot and its design will be dealt in robotic science. Robotics is the science of using a machine to perform manual functions without human intervention. Okay. So, in industries, actually with human intervention, the production of materials or production of various products is becoming late. In order to avoid that one, without human intervention, the robot concept has been designed. We see another definition now. Robotics is a branch of engineering that involves conception, design, manufacture, and operation of machines assigned for specific high precision and repetitive task. So, for repetitive task and high precision operations, we will be going for design, manufacturing, and process design of robot. Now let us know the definition of robot. So far we have known a definition of robotics. Now let us know the definition of robot. Any machine that does work on its own automatically after it is programmed by human. So actually this robot will be programmed by human beings, and automatically it will be automatically it will be operated. We see another definition of robot. Robot in Czech comes from the word robota, meaning compulsory labor. So, robot is a word derived from the Czechoslovakian word. In Czechoslovakia, the robot is called robota. So, actually the meaning of that robota is compulsory labor. Okay. Now, let us know the difference between robot and non-robot. A robot, under the robot you just see here alarm clock and non-robot Walkman. So, in alarm clock, if we program to particular time to ring it, so automatically that alarm clock will give at particular time. If you take Walkman, so without human intervention it will not operate. You take traffic light. If it is timed for a particular time period, so traffic light will be giving automatically the signals. Okay. So, in the same way, you take under non-robot category car will be run or will not be run automatically unless the human intervention is there. So, you take under the category of robot microwave oven. Okay. So, if you give time period for a particular period of time for cooking, automatically within the time period that cooking is over. You take a typewriter. So, without human intervention that one will not be working. So, it is comes under the category of non-robot. You take the photocopier. So, if you automate the photocopier for particular number of copies, automatically that photocopier will make copies of required number. You take bicycle. It will not be running automatically, it is will be run with human being intervention. Okay, so that it will be coming under non-robot category. So, VCR, so it is also comes under robot category. Flashlight, unless human intervention is there, so flashlight will not be flickering. So, I think you must be clearly notified the distinction between robot and non-robot. Now, let us know the need for robot. Actually, what is the need that is existing for switching over for robot? Let us know one by one. Robots can be built with the performance capability superior to those of human beings. So, robots do not have any limitations at all, because human beings have limitations for the capacity performance. So, that since robots do not have limitations regarding performance, so that robots are well capable of performing various operations. Robots are better than humans to perform simple and repetitive tasks with better quality and consistency. Simple and repetitive operations, if it is performed by the human beings, means the same quality may not be performed by the human beings. Okay. So, in such cases, if you switch over to the robot, so that simple and repetitive task with the same quantity and with same quality will be performed. Robots can replace the humans in performing tasks that are difficult and hazardous because of factors such as size, weight, range, precision or environment. So, you please keep your note of that in precision and hazardous environments, if at all human beings required to work, means they cannot come forward to work. In such areas, you can employ the industrial robot, so that robot can perform very well in those vulnerable areas. Okay. For example, you take painting of refrigerator cabinet. So refrigerator cabinet should be painted in every nook and corner of its surface. So in such cases, if you go for industrial robot, it will perform its operation very perfectly and effectively. Suppose instead of going for industrial robot, if you go for manual labor, then the quality may not be performed, and also the health of that human labor will be affected. Robots do not have the limitations and the negative attributes of human workers such as fatigue, need for rest, diversion of attention, absenteeism, need for refreshments. So robots do not have any limitations at all. So if you employ human labor, so human labor means he needs some rest, he needs some refreshment. So all these necessary. Suppose if you go for industrial robot, if you go for industrial robot, all these requirements may be may not be required by the industrial robot. Robots can be used to perform tasks which human beings do not like to do, jobs that are considered unskilled or low paying or that involve poor working conditions. So in poor working areas, if at all if you employ the human labor means so you cannot work positively. So that in those areas if you employ the industrial robot will perform effectively. Now let us see another need for robot. Robots can lower costs through reduction in usage of materials, through efficiency and consistency. So since it works with efficiency and consistency, okay, so it will perform effectively. So human labor will not perform with the same performance because it cannot maintain, human labor cannot maintain the consistency. Robots become more economical as labor costs increase. This also you have to make a note of. Robots are more economical. Suppose simple and repetitive tasks if you want to perform means if you go for human labor, so that lot of fatigue and anxiousness will be there. So that in order to avoid that one, if you go for industrial robot, so that it will be very economical. Robots are flexible compared to hard automation since they are configured and programmed. This permits them to be reused in new or modified applications, and they are less subjected to becoming obsolete. The output of humans depending upon the learning curve every time the job is changed. So if you employ industrial robot, since it is not hard automation, that is it is not flexible, it is flexible. If you go for hard automation means it is not flexible. So since industrial robot is programmable, so that it is flexible. If at all a design change is occurred in the production department means then if you employ the human labor means for the new product design he has to learn, he takes his own time to learn. that new design. So that we have to go for in such cases industrial robot. Now let us go for basic requirements of robots. Robots must not harm human being either due to inaction or inaction. Okay, this is said to be first law. So during action or inaction, it should not harm anybody. That is important. This is said to be first law. Robot must always obey human being unless it comes into conflict. This is second law. So whatever the human being programmed for particular operation, okay, it should perform effectively. This is said to be second law. Now let us see another requirement of a robot. Robot must protect itself from harm unless it is in conflict with either the first law or second law. Okay? So robot must protect itself from harm, means anybody damages, means that should be prevented by itself. Okay. Now let us know the definition of industrial robot. So far we have known the robot. Let us know the definition of industrial robot. Industrial robot is reprogrammable multifunctional manipulator designed to move material parts, tools or specialized devices through variable program motions to accomplish a variety of tasks. So to accomplish variety of tasks, we will be going for a industrial robot which can be programmed, and it is nothing but a multifunctional manipulator, so that we can perform many operations by using industrial robot. Okay. So this industrial robot is specifically suited for industrial operations. Now let us know the elements of robot. Manipulator, this is the manipulator. Controller, sensors, end effector, power source. These are the 5 elements of robots. Okay. Now let us know in detail of these elements. First of all, let us know the manipulator. You just see the elements. Manipulator. It is an assembly of axes capable of motion in various directions. Okay. Now let us see the robot. This is the control unit, this is the power unit, this is the end effector, this is the manipulator. These elements we have classified just now. Now let us see the definition of a manipulator. It is an assembly of axes capable of motion in various directions. So if at all to move the arm of a robot in various directions, we will be manipulating the manipulator. Okay. So this manipulator can be moved in different axes. Okay. So now let us see the element details. manipulator. You just see the definition of arm sweep. This is the arm sweep. Arm sweep provides rotational movement. Provides rotational movement. Just now I have shown the rotation of arm sweep. Okay. Now you see the shoulder swivel. This is the shoulder swivel. Okay. Now let us see the definition. It allows vertical motion. Shoulder swivel allows vertical motion. Okay. Now you just see the definition of roll. In the manipulator, the arm can be rolled in different directions. So you just see the definition of roll. Rotational or swivel movement perpendicular to the end of arm. Okay. So the rotational or swivel movement perpendicular to the end of the arm. So this end of the arm perpendicular so that it will be moved. Okay. Now let us see the definition of pitch. So rotational or bending movement in a plane perpendicular to the end of the arm. Okay. So pitch is nothing but the arm can be moved perpendicular to the end of the arm, right. Now if you want to see the animation of this robot arm, you can see. So this is the robot arms. You just see the arm is being moved from bottom to top. Okay. So that this is nothing but end effector. With this component will be hold and the component will be placed in other place. Okay. So this operation is being performed repetitively. Okay. Now let us know the definition of controller. It commands and manipulates the robot arm to perform desired tasks. So to perform desired tasks, okay. So robot can be operated by the control of controller. Okay. So that controller automatically programmed for particular operations. Okay. Now let us see the controller. So this is the controller. Okay. So this controller is connected to power unit and also to the robot. Okay. So that from the controller all the operations will be controlled. Okay. Now let us see the robot controls. Non-servo control, servo control. So these are the classifications of robot controls. So non-servo control and servo control. In servo control again we have two categories, point to point control and continuous path control. Okay. Now let us know the basic definitions of this non-servo control and servo control. Non-servo controlled robots. Robots move their arms between exact end positions on each axis or along predetermined motions as per fixed sequence. Okay. So, between fixed positions robot arm can be moved. Okay. This is the limitation for this non-servo controlled robots. Okay. Suppose if it is the continuous path movement, if at all we want to go for means then we will be going for servo controlled robots. So, you just see the servo controlled robots. These robots are capable of controlling the velocity, acceleration and the path of motion from the beginning to the end of the path. So, from the beginning to the end of the path, total movement will be controlled, that is its velocity will be controlled, its acceleration will be controlled and the direction also be controlled. So, a smooth movement, smooth motion of operation will be performed by using this servo controlled. Next, let us see the sensors. These are the feedback devices that sense and measure the position and in some cases the velocity of the various axes of motion and send this information for coordinating and robot motions. Sensors are important elements in the robot construction, because these sensors would give feedback to the controller, so that controller would control the motion axis. Okay. So that to get the motion of robot arm in the desired direction. Now let us know the end effector. So end effector is also one of the important element of industrial robot. Okay. So let us see the definition. The end effector is the end of the arm tooling which is mounted on the face plate of robot arm. Okay. So end effector actually it is placed at the end of the robot arm. Okay. So that it will be controlled by the controlled, and at the same time this can be given movement in different directions. Okay. Let me show the animation of end effector. Classification of end effector. Okay. Classification of end effectors, grippers, tools. So the classification of end effectors are grippers and tools. So let me show the gripper. So this is the gripper. Okay. So it is having jaws. Okay. So this jaws will be given movement. You just see the animation of this gripper. Okay. So these are the jaws. So jaws are moving. So one is moving in clockwise direction, another is moving in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. So due to this motion of clockwise and anti-clockwise motion, okay, material will be hold. Okay. And you just see the animation of this gripper in the industrial robot. This is the separate animation actually. So you just see. Okay, this robot, this is the industrial robot. Okay, this is the end effector. Okay, so end effector is being moved in this direction. Okay, that is, it is rolling. Okay, and afterwards these two jars will get movement, so that component will be hold between these two jars. Okay. So this is the end effector. Now let us know another important element of industrial robot, that is power source. Power source is important energy requirement. Okay, so that unless a power source is there, robot cannot function. Okay. Now let us see the power source definition. The power supply is the source of energy to move and regulate the robot drive mechanism. Okay. So robot drive mechanism totally will be controlled by the power source. Okay. So it may be the hydraulic, it may be the electric, it may be pneumatic. Okay. So let us see the classification of this power source. Okay. So if you want to see the power source in an industrial robot, you just see. So this is the power source. Okay. This is the power unit. Okay. So this power unit will be connected to the controller and also the industrial robot. Okay. So that you just see. Now let us know the classification of power sources. Electric drives, hydraulic drives, pneumatic drives. So these are three classifications of power sources. Okay. Now let us see in detail of all these drives that are used in different applications for industrial robots. You just see the electric drives. Electric drives are clean and quiet with high degree of accuracy and repeatability and a wide range of payload capacity. Okay. So electric drives especially, they are quiet in operation and they are high precision. Okay. And at the same time they will be having high payload capacity. Okay. And range of payload capacity is more. Okay. So let us see the hydraulic drives. Hydraulic drives are relatively easy to maintain and also have high payload capacity. However, they are expensive and not as accurate as electric or pneumatic drives. Okay. So these hydraulic drives are also will be used. Okay. Hydraulic drives also will be used with high payload capacity, and these are used in limited areas because accuracy of the component will be disturbed. Okay. So compared to electric drives, it will not performing that much accuracy. Okay. Now let us see pneumatic drives. Definition of pneumatic. These are expensive, fast and reliable, but they are limited to smaller payloads. Okay. So pneumatic drives are very are fast and reliable, but they are limited to smaller payloads. Okay? So, if it is a smaller payload, then we can go for pneumatic drives. Now, let us see the robot capabilities. Excellent repeatability. Okay. So, positional tolerance is permitted in sending the robot arm back to previously taught in its work envelope. High speed operation. Operation can be performed with high speed in case of a industrial robot. This is the good capability of a industrial robot. Straight line accuracy. Positional tolerance permitted in sending a robot to a newly taught point defined in the Cartesian plane by its Cartesian coordinates. Okay. Another capability of robot is large payload. The amount of weight that the robot arm can carry, it includes the weight of the end effector. Okay. So, large payload means the capability of robot arm that it carries the load at the end of its arm. Okay. It includes the weight of the end effector. Okay. Increased work envelope. All the points in space that the robot arm and the end effector can reach. Okay. So, increased envelope will be there, all the robots, okay, robot arm and also end effector can reach. Rugged construction. The arm and the different joints should be rigid to achieve accuracy, speed and other characteristics. So, robot arm should be built very strongly because it should carry the various range of loads. Okay. Suppose the same operation, if it is performed by the human labor, means there will be having certain limitations. Okay. Now, let us see the classification of robots. Okay. In this session, we just briefly classify the robots. According to the type of control, we can classify the robot. According to the capacity, according to the configuration, according to manipulation function. Okay. So, we briefly classify one by one. According to the type of control, we can classify the robots as point to point robots, continuous point robots, computer trajectory robots, servo controlled robots. Another classification of robot is according to the capacity, that is payload capacity. Okay. So, sequence controlled robots, adaptive robots and intelligent robots. So, these are the three classifications of according to the capacity. Now, let us classify according to the configuration. Okay. According to the configuration, robot can be classified as Cartesian robot, cylindrical robot, spherical robot articulated robot. Okay. Another classification according to manipulation function. Pick and place robots, special purpose robots, universal robots. Okay. So, these are the some Cartesian robot, this one. Okay. Some sample diagrams of various robots. Cartesian robot, this is cylindrical robot, spherical robot, articulated robot, and this is a SCARA robot. Okay. So far in this session we have learned definition of robot, definition of industrial robot, constructional details of robot, basic requirements of robot, need for robot, and we have shown some animations also. Okay. And I have given some sample diagrams of different types of robots. Okay. In the next session we discuss in detail of these various classifications of robot. Thank you.